Hello there, just thought I'd do a quick review today of the Brother 1601. Now, a lot of people are sort of looking at this, and if you already sort of started researching this a bit, you probably realised that this is a copy of the Spyderco Manix 2XL. This is really nice knife, really cheap. Again, it's about £16 sterling, shipped, tracked, insured from GearBest, and it's well worth it. Now, something to note with this and other sort of Spyderco sort of copies, or particularly clones, Spyderco clones which have all the Spyderco logo, but there's some unusual still that nobody knows about. I mean, it's all false. With this, it's being quite honest. It doesn't have Spyderco logo on it. It looks like a Spyderco. It is a Spyderco sort of copy, almost direct. It's got some subtle changes, such as the jimping goes pretty much all the way up to the top of the first sort of choil here, or your finger choil. With the XL, it's about halfway, the jimping along the handle, so you can just see that jimping there. So you've got some subtle little differences, but not a lot. It's meant to be 440C stainless steel. In my eyes, well, I'm sorry, my views, it is not as good as the Ganzo 440C. So if you're thinking that this is going to be on similar par, it is not. I've only ever had to really strop my Ganzos. I haven't really had to put an edge on them again. This one, after using it for a day, I had to put it across the ceramic rods and just get it sharp again. But it is good working knife, and it's well worth your money. So I'll just quickly sort of cover some of the sort of good elements of it. So it's got that lovely sort of Spyderco hole. It allows itself to be opened quite well. It's got the ball bearing access lock. It does work. It's quite strong. What's really good, what Brother have really sort of hit on here and done very well, is the jimping. So with the jimping with basically Spyderco copies, the angle will be like that, or a little bit like that. With this, as with Spyderco's, it's almost at that direction. And that is absolutely fantastic. It really lends itself to being held and locked into the hand very well. It doesn't have the same movement as the Spyderco Manix is, just because to try and make sure you don't have any side-to-side play, you have to tighten up this nut a little bit. Which is a shame, but at the same time, it's not that hard. It's just not as fast, so you can't do it on the lock that well. But it gives a little bit. So at the moment, it's got a little bit of backwards and forwards side play, not side to side. So if you just open it with your thumb ramp, it just allows the ball bearing to engage a little bit better. So it's just not as slick as the Spyderco's, but I don't expect it to be. It was £16. But great food preparation knife. I mean, this is far better than the, in my mind, for food prep, than the Ganzos, particularly the paramilitary copy, the G729, and the Ontario Rat copy, G727M, which I have. They are very good, but this just lends itself very well. So cutting up a Swede with this wasn't actually that difficult at all. Did need to touch up the edge, but it worked very well, and it pushed through. And if anyone's ever had to sort of prepare Swedes, you find that they're almost as hard as people's heads. So this works very well. What's quite nice, it has some extra screws just here for on this side and on the side which holds the pocket clip. So you've got some backups. I took them out because I didn't need them. But it works, it holds very well. You can hold it in the different positions and it feels just right. The handle is very slim. So as far as some people are concerned, it lends itself quite well to pocket carry, but it's quite wide. So in a number of ways, it takes up a lot of space in your pocket, reduces the weight because it's slim, but because it's wide and not thick in the handle, it still feels quite comfortable. But it isn't as good as the G720. So if you want a big folder, nice and chunky, feels good in the hand, but isn't as good a slicer, this is the one you want. This slices, but it doesn't feel as good in the hand. But anyway, let's see how it is with feathering just a piece of rubbish old Leyland die. Now, because it's got a ball bearing access lock, I don't normally do this with folders, but the ball bearing access lock being a spherical lock should be a lot stronger than the Spyderco, sorry, and then the Benchmade access locks. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, no problem there whatsoever. Let's just see how it feathers. It does very nice feather sticks. Very good indeed. There you go. So, like the G720 from Ganzo, this has got a sharp spine, so you can strike a ferrocerium rod. Out of the two of these, if you're going to go camping, this can be your backup sort of bushcraft knife. This can be your kitchen prep. You won't go wrong with either of these. But if you want something a little bit more heavy duty and really robust, it's got to be this one every time. But for £16, this is definitely worth it. And just if you're thinking about perhaps taking a plunge on a Spyderco, I think the Ganzos and the Brother offers a good option for you to try before you buy, so to speak. So £16 versus, well, this is about £150 sterling to maybe £120. It's definitely worth getting one of these. So after having this, I'm actually thinking that perhaps a Manix, Manix 2, not the XL, will be a very good option for me. So some people are saying it takes some money from Spyderco and Lion Steel and Ontario, and yes it does in a way, but for those which are into knives and they like sort of cutlery, sporting cutlery, I think actually it lands a platform which allows you to make informed decisions on very expensive purchases. So I think this isn't a bad idea. Anyway, £16, it's worth it as far as I can tell so far. I've had it for a few weeks and it does work very well. Definitely give it a go. I mean, there's a lot of knives out there and you just need to see which takes your fancy. Just bear in mind that this is quite big and very wide. So anyway, hope you enjoyed.